everyone, it's Bex, and I wanted to show you this training, well, it's a competition journal that Maddi at the Dressage Coach sent me. So yeah, this arrived the other day along with an everyday training journal, which I will show you another day, but I wanted to fill this in and just show you some of the bits in there because it's actually really handy. I'm not a terribly organized person, and I tend to sort of get home, look at my sheets for a few days where they hang around in the kitchen, and then eventually my husband gets annoyed and chucks them in a box somewhere, and then they get forgotten about. So I'm going to try and be really good about filling this in on a regular basis so that I can track our progress with our competitions. You know, because I look back on some of the things that I used to do with my ex-racehorse Atia previously, and I always felt like we didn't really do that well with our dressage, but actually when I find my old sheets, you know, we do have some quite nice scores there through the years. So I think we always kind of dwell on the negative stuff and not the positives. So this is going to be a really good way of, you know, just keeping tabs on how we're doing, really. So yeah, it's a really nice softback journal. It's I think it's A5 size, and you've got two diagrams for the arena letters, so that's kind of handy if you're traveling somewhere and want to run through your test. And then each page has got just various sections, so the venue, the horse, your test that you've done, the scores, and these bits here. So I sort of started to fill this in, and we did a team quest competition on the 5th of Feb, so I thought I'd use that as my first entry. So we did the intro test, which we've written down in here. We got 63.48% and we came 4th. I do find intros a bit difficult. I always feel like we ride them quite nicely and they feel quite good, and then we seem to not really get particularly great marks. So speaking to, you know, various instructors, I think it's partially to do with his carriage being a pre. He's got quite a sort of you know, he's got quite an uphill way of going, and I think with the intros they're quite often looking for something a bit more of a longer, lower, more relaxed sort of outline, and that is just not him. So I think we're going to leave the intros behind and start, you know, focusing a bit more on some prelims and novices. So anyway, so yes, that was the one sheet, and then we did prelim 7, which we got a nice rosette for. So we did that one as my quest rather than as a team score, and we got 66.36 and came 4th in that one, which I was really pleased with actually, because we got an incorrect canter lead on the left rein. So, you know, that was quite a good score considering we scored 5 for that movement because we dropped a couple of marks because of that. So yeah, so that's what I've written down in the top part. And then you've got 3 things I was happy with. So I have written in there that he was relaxed, because for me, he felt, you know, he was quite relaxed for him. Number 2, he was forward and rideable. That day was really stormy and windy, and you know, considering that, I felt he behaved really well and I felt safe on him. You know, like sometimes you can go in when it's windy and banners are flapping and they're a bit you know, yes, he had a look at a few little things, but he generally felt, you know, safe and rideable. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And then I put number 3, he was really well behaved in the warm-up. On that particular competition day, they had team quest competitions running as well as unaffiliated. So the venue was just generally very busy, a lot of horses, a lot of people, and the warm-ups were quite busy. So he was really well behaved, and I was very pleased with him for that. One thing I would change is the next section. So for that, I had a bit of a nightmare morning. It was very cold. My lorry battery just wouldn't start, so I had to jump start the lorry, and the back jockey door was also frozen shut, where I'd washed it a few days before and the water had sealed the door shut as ice. So it was a bit of a nightmare morning, and the venue is about an hour away from me, so basically it was a mad rush to try and get there in time. So I had to plait up there, and I did a running plait because his mane's very long, and by the time we got halfway through the second test it had all fallen out and we looked a complete mess. So yeah, so I've put one thing I would change: more time to plait and proper plaits as opposed to a running plait, and more warm-up time. So yeah. Best judged comments, I looked through the sheets. I picked two. One was lovely horse with large loose movement, and then the second judge comment was that I liked was with more confidence and relaxation in the arena will produce a super test with marks to reflect. So I thought that was a really nice comment. And then the last section, which is probably the most important bit, is what to work on in training. So I had a couple of comments on the intro sheet saying odd shaped circles. So again, I didn't feel they rode oddly. I might have another look back at the video that my husband took just to check, but yeah, odd shaped circles. So I've put in my what to work on in training to work on our even circles. Obviously there was a few comments about tension. You know, he felt pretty good to me, but yes, he's green at competitions, so there is going to be some tension, but you know, that's going to kind of come with time and practice. And then I put canter leads is my other thing to work on in training, because he's quite often will strike off on the incorrect canter lead, so that is definitely something that we really need to practice, and also making sure that he goes off my leg and canters when I ask him to, rather than, you know, sometimes he's a bit sluggish to strike off into the canter. So that's definitely the other thing that we need to practice. So yeah, anyway, that is my first entry into the diary or the journal. And yeah, if you're interested in getting one of these for your own progress, you can get them on the Dressage Coach website. So yeah, you can just order those. All right, I hope you're all having a good weekend. Bye.